It is important to understand that even with a radio system as sophisticated as the 800 MHz statewide public safety radio system, or ARMOR system, it is still possible to bog it down with poor communication techniques. Here are a few common sense reminders about radio etiquette that will help you be an effective radio user. First of all, even though the ARMOR system has plenty of capacity, you should keep all transmissions short and to the point. Thinking about what you're going to say before you key the microphone will help you to provide a compact and precise message, and avoid the uncertain ums and ahs that come from individuals who aren't used to using a radio. This will become second nature as you gain more experience. Speak on the radio only when you have to. Keeping your communications short maximizes talk group availability for other users. Identify yourself. All transmissions should begin with your unit number or some other identifier to let other radio users know who it is that is wanting to communicate. Next, you should identify the unit or agency you wish to communicate with. For example, if your identifying number is Unit 271 and the dispatch number is 600, it would sound like this: 271 600, or Unit 271 to Dispatch 600, depending on your agency's communication policies. On occasion, it may be necessary to utilize phonetics to ensure accurate information transmission. While phonetics are helpful for proper spelling, it is easy to overdo it. Let's say I was going to spell out the name Brian. The person on the other end of my communication probably doesn't need me to say, "That's boy, Robert, Ida, Adam, Nora." BRIAN will probably suffice. You can always use phonetics when clarification is needed. When communicating a long string of numbers to another individual, it is best to group numbers in 3-digit clusters. Long strings of numbers can be hard to remember or write down. For example, 457-872-104. Those 3 groups of numbers are much easier to remember than if I rattled them off as 457-872-104. As much as we all like to be an insider, it is usually best to avoid using jargon, acronyms, and 10 codes. While some acronyms are self-explanatory, for example, if you say OSHA, everyone knows what you mean. However, you can understand when you use the acronym LOC in your radio traffic. Are you referring to the patient's level of consciousness or a loss of consciousness? Use of 10 codes should be avoided as well. This becomes especially important when communicating with someone outside of your agency. As 10 codes are not universal, a 1054 may not mean the same thing to both you and someone from another organization. The potential for miscommunication of information could result in dangerous situations. You could see why it is very important to speak plain language, especially when you are involved in a multi-agency response. Use of plain language is a standard that is consistent with the National Incident Management System. This is also in accordance with the plain language policy adopted by the Minnesota Statewide Radio Board. These radio etiquette tips will help you communicate more effectively as you operate or interoperate with the 800 MHz public safety radio system.